everyone, this is Sunette, and in this video we're going to be having a look at our relationship with the word self-honesty. Now, self-honesty, it's quite a tricky one. Many may be more familiar with the words honesty and dishonest. I am honest or I am dishonest. But self-honesty is something that exists on a whole other level. Self-honesty has to do with your relationship with your mind-consciousness system, your actual thoughts, inner dialogue, experiences. It is essentially being able to either speak or write exactly what is coming up and what is existing within yourself. Mostly, if we have a look at honesty, for example, it is used as a protection and defense mechanism more so than really being self-honest. I have found, even in my own personal process, that sometimes I would say to myself that I'm being self-honest, but because I had the programming of using honesty as a protection and defense mechanism, I have found that I did in moments in my process even manage to deceive myself in believing that I was being self-honest when all the while I was purely being honest. And this is what I would like to assist and support with in this video, because this is a challenging one. It is a difficult one, and it took me some time to essentially reach that moment of being self-honest with me, to the extent of, realizing that I wasn't actually being self-honest. What does that mean? So here, if we have a look at, start with honesty. I would, using a memory example of a situation where, let's say, for example, I was confronted about my relationship with an individual, and someone, asked me, are you happy? Are you really content and comfortable in this relationship? If you look into yourself, are you happy? And when I was asked that question, there was like a split second inside myself where the self-honesty came, where I knew I wasn't. But then, immediately after that split second, it moved so fast, like that self-honesty moment, I could feel and see, like in the background of my mind and in the background of myself, it was there. But then, the experience of being happy and comfortable and content kind of superseded that self-honesty. And then I would respond, honestly, I am. Right now, honestly, yes, I am happy, comfortable, and content. But always, generally, overall, no. And it was also interesting because I found that I would use honesty as a protection and defense mechanism also when the questions wasn't asked specifically. In other words, if someone would ask me a question like that, like, are you happy in or content and comfortable in your relationship? They didn't specify when or what exactly do you mean, or in what context, what specific dimensions, so in a way I would say, yes, I am. But then also add in the background of my mind, in this moment, right now, as you're asking it, yeah, I'm happy. But truthfully, self-honestly, I was not at all. So that's also another dimension that everyone can have a look at, where, you deliberately deceive yourself with honesty, and how you do use it as well in your relationship with other people, and how you can deceive yourself based on how the question is asked by other people. And it's like you find any and every way to not be self-honest, because one of the main experiences that I have found is accompanied with self-honesty is fear. Meaning when I started walking through becoming more observant and aware of myself, like in those moments with a person, look, there would be many moments that when I was asked a question by someone, I would honestly answer. I would not be self-honest because I wouldn't be able to be, let's call it, be able to communicate my self-honesty with that person because I was not yet self-honest with myself. I haven't yet found my self-honesty. Like in that example as well, that when I was asked that question, I knew I was not happy, comfortable, and content in my relationship, but I was too afraid to admit it. And that's self-honest, actually. I was self-honestly too afraid to admit it, to admit the fact that I self-honestly am not happy, comfortable, and content, but overall, I don't want to say that, not even to myself, not even to another person, because I know if I'm going to be self-honest, it is going to change my relationship. And I don't want my relationship to change, So therefore, I'm sure many people can even relate to that particular point of honesty and self-honesty, how we hold on to relationships in which we know we are even mostly not 100%, who we are and how we are, but we compromise and we sabotage and create consequence in more ways than one, just to hold on for dear life. But the point that I'd also like to make here is, even though, with self-honesty, in being able to see my thoughts and inner dialogue and experiences as is, not hiding what I am truly going through within myself from even myself, that there are those moments where people ask me questions and I will only honestly answer in that moment. Because as I would answer, I would check my sound and my response and my experiences within me, and then I would sometimes sit back and go, to me, I was, honestly, self-honestly answering, but no, there was some misalignments there. And then I would go back, and have a look at, okay, where was I not self-honest? Where is a level of self-honesty that I must all, investigate, open up, have a look at, understand within myself. And I mean, it was also quite interesting because even though, in that moment, my self-honesty was that I was not happy and comfortable and content in my relationship. It was astounding was that me being finally self-honest about that with me and communicating it, communicating about it with someone else, we actually found, completely different reasons for my unhappiness and my experiences and things like that actually had nothing to do with my partner, So that's also quite an interesting thing that we do. We fear being self-honest and opening things up within ourselves because we think that it's going to lead to, or assume that it's going to lead to a certain consequence. But we don't actually really ever know. Like for me, I thought if I was going to be self-honest about me not being happy, that's going to mean the end of my relationship. But it didn't. It actually created something completely different, in that I could understand myself more, I could understand the relationship more, and if anything, the relationship became so much more, right? So here are some points to open up, consider, and have a look at in your journey and process to self-honesty, the difference between honesty and self-honesty. And in the next video, I will continue with some more examples in relation to what does self-honesty mean in your relationship with your thoughts, your experiences, your inner reality. All right. Thank you very much.